Hey guys, it's Tim and Shana from Punk Rope, and topic of today's video, sensory deprivation and how taking a sense away can potentially heighten another sense. So this is really just a conceptual video. We don't expect Shana to realize any dramatic improvement in the course of a few minutes, nor would we expect that for you, but we think it's an interesting thing to play with. So Shana's just going to do a regular jump now, and obviously she's her vision is unobstructed, her ears are not covered, and she's looking out at the horizon, and she's using visual information to help her. She's using auditory information, the sound of the rope, and she's using sensory information, the feeling of her feet on the ground. And so that's typical for most of us. But what happens if you were to take one of those senses away? Would it have any effect? So that's what we're going to explore now. And so Shauna's going to start with
Let's do one at a time.
We'll do one at a time. Just going to start with a blindfold. Okay, so for one thing, don't do this in the middle of the street or at the end of your driveway or any place where you could potentially injure yourself. And certainly don't do it if you're not confident of jumping with your eyes closed. So
I'm not confident I'm gonna find the rope again.
it is to your left and slightly back. It's up a little bit. It's up. There you go. Boom. See? Look at that. Already. Heightened awareness. No. Okay, so now she cannot see. And the question is, what is that going to do to her sense of hearing? Now also that blindfold is covering her ears slightly, so this is a little bit unfair. But also, what's it going to do to her sense of touch?
But I already hear better. My hearing is not aces.
No.
Anyway, and so
Yeah.
having the visual focus turned off, I'm
Yeah.
already tuned in
Yeah.
better.
And so guys, just so you know, this is an apartment in New York City. There's a lot of ambient noise. There's kids playing in the back, which I can even hear. And there's street noise, et cetera, et cetera. So now Shauna's gonna jump again, and no vision, so she cannot eyeball that rope. Is it making a difference? She is slightly rotating towards her left, but for the most part staying really steady. And now we're just going to ask her, how did that feel? Did it feel...
It is different,
Yeah.
I've done this before.
Yeah.
And normally when really trying not to move, I focus on my feet a lot.
Yeah.
This time I tried not to. I just kept with just doing it as I usually do.
Right.
But then, of course, not getting, when I was doing it before, using the sight line.
Right.
Yeah, it felt...
Do you feel like slightly...
more wobbly for the core.
Yeah.
So, that it would be, if I was walking,
Yeah.
like a balance.
Well, I can say
operation.
from here, and I'm sure the people watching at home, the shift was really subtle. So to me, that says, Shauna's got really great kinesthetic sense. She's aware of where her body is in space. Otherwise, she could have turned completely around or, ended up facing, I'm going to just turn the camera, facing the dumbbells, or she could have been all twisted, but we're going to let her take the blindfold off now, and she's going to see where she is.
I also have your voice as a way of staying facing.
Yeah, so that's the whole point, guys. So that's the
Yeah.
heightening of the auditory sense. So using...
I felt that like,
Yeah, but it you know, wasn't apparent to us. But so the question would be, if you try this at home in a safe place, do you think this would heighten your sense of hearing? And I don't know the answer. Maybe it would, maybe it wouldn't. We think it's worth the experiment. So.
And in doing something like jumping or marching in place, your sense of core stability or balance.
Yeah, absolutely. And just the sensation of your feet on the ground. So now we're going to try experiment number 2. No more blindfold, but these are noise canceling headphones. And they're pretty snug, so Shana can't really hear much, so I probably have to give her...
I don't hear very well anyway.
Anyway, so I'm going to have to give her a signal as to when she should start jumping. And once again, we're just going to see, what does this do in terms of her sense of vision and her sensory input. Is this going to make any difference at all? So I'm just going to give her a signal, so apologies if the camera gets a little shaky. Okay, ready, set, and go. And stop. Okay, so she's going to take the headphones off.
That's really weird.
And what was that experience like?
Well, I don't know that much about hearing, so I didn't get my usual experience of hearing, like
The slap, slap,
and
slap.
the like whoop sound.
Yeah.
You know, maybe there was the faintest, but what was drowning anything else out was, I think, the way those work versus how I think trying to do this before with like just a cloth.
Yeah.
Like the sound in my head.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
when you jump, whatever's rattling around in there.
Uh-huh.
I don't have very good vocabulary for
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
You know, perhaps it's similar to the putting the seashell at the ear
Yeah.
phenomena, whatever that is.
Right.
That's
So it's kind of like an internal
yeah.
thing.
So
Yeah.
in a way, you know, it's like a trillion sound.
Yeah.
And particularly from jumping, so I could hear the
Yeah. Yeah.
which is kind of neat. I want to work with that some more, actually.
That's really interesting.
I've
Yeah.
done much more blindfolded, and I hadn't really done that.
Yeah.
You hear your insides.
Your insight. So that's something, right. So without
I don't know if that's hearing or whatever it is.
Well, it's a good question. I'm not sure how to define that, but
We'll come back with
I can
more
tell you
knowledge.
without the headphones, you probably wouldn't even be aware of that, or wouldn't be aware as much of it. So, and how about vision? Did it do anything to your vision? Did it help you tune in more to what you were seeing, or not so
I
much?
know something that I felt almost more the heightened awareness of the inside
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
it's hard to describe.
Yeah.
I wasn't focusing any more than normally, and it heightened the visual. This, other things maybe.
Right. So, just to recap, guys, what we did was...
Are we going to do both at the same time?
No, I don't think we'll do both at the same time. I don't think that's a great idea, and it's probably not
Next video.
super safe for people at home. But
Have a
we
guardian.
do think if you feel comfortable, confident, and can do this in a safe place, we think it's worth trying just to see what you experience. And of course, it doesn't have to be with jump rope. It could be with something else. But don't do this driving a car or operating heavy machinery. That would not be very wise. But let us know what you think in the comments below. And if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Feel free to subscribe. And we will see you next time. Thanks again, guys. Bye.